Hi, how's it going? Today I wanted to talk about the subject of, are robots going to increase or decrease human employment? Ooh, that's a very, very different and difficult subject. Well, it's kind of fantasy, but at the same time, it's almost current future, if that makes sense. Because the future has caught up with what we were saying in movies, and now we are able to actually have robots in some function, and we're getting closer and closer to them actually taking over some of the jobs that we have. And it's actually already happening in some fashion. For example, at McDonald's, some McDonald's have gone fully automatic, which means that you can have people in the restaurant, in the kitchen, cooking. There are 2 or 3 employees, and then all the orders are taken by a sort of kiosk that lets you choose what you would like to have. And that kind of makes sense because it's almost like an app in some way, where you can just basically choose your bun, choose your meat, choose your menu, and then you say if you want a medium size, large size, small size drink, etc. And then it just forwards that message to the cooks, and it lets them cook. But let's look at a further future McDonald's that maybe doesn't exist yet, and let's say that now they have an automatic way of cooking that food, where basically they have machines that will automatically take the bun, toast it or not, depending on the choice you've taken, cook the meat, and fry the fries, and spit out a cup, basically for you to go get your own soda. So once you come to that point, then they basically, at the place of having 7 or 8 employees in a McDonald's, I'm just taking McDonald's as an example because I heard that they were doing automatic selling kiosks. But at that point, what happens is that at the place of having 7, 8, 9 employees in the facility, they have maybe 1 or 2 employees just to do the maintenance, be sure that everything's working fine, maybe clean toilets, stuff like that, because you still need, at any point, I think, at least in the immediate future, until robots can get smarter and wiser and stuff like that, we're going to always need at least 1 or 2 people maintaining the facility. But they're obviously going to be different than the low-paid employees, or maybe they might be low-paid, I don't know, because maybe there's not going to be enough jobs, so it's going to be basically you have an advantage if you get that job, so they can keep the salary low. And that's the scary part, because automation is happening everywhere. If you think about it, even huge companies such as Amazon, they have employees working at this point right now, but in the warehouses they also have all these shelves with machines basically picking out the component and just putting it in a box for it to be shipped, and that's automatic. So at the place of, let's say, having, we'll just put a fake example, but 2,000 employees, maybe they can get away with 500 employees, because now they have this machine that is basically doing all that human work for you. And it's all fine and dandy. I'm sure that the companies that own these robots and that want to make the maximum profit are actually very happy with that, because they don't have to spend as much money, if that makes sense. And then also sometimes it's harder to deal with humans, because they're going to want to have lunch breaks, they're going to get sick, they're going to have problems, they might have disputes. There's a lot of things that they want to get paid more. People always want to get paid more. So the thing is that then the company is also happy because they don't have to deal with that. Yeah, there might be a technical issue with the robot itself, but it won't start complaining. And of course, if you look at Isaac Asimov novels or a lot of the movies about the future and stuff like that, you're going to see that, of course, robots will eventually go against humanity and start killing everyone. And even though it's one of the rules set in the robot not to ever hurt a human, they will change the programming and they will hurt humanity. Right. It's like Terminator 2. But no, seriously. It's a big problem in some way. I had also spoken about this in another video where I was talking about the universal income. And that's really going to be, I think, a very important thing to have, because I think that for probably quite a long time we're still going to need plumbers and electricians until once again we get to the point where robots can actually maneuver well enough. And we're still, for construction, even though yes we can 3D print some things and stuff like that, I believe that at the same time, without having the human skill, at least for the moment, we're not gonna have automatic robots. But at the same time, we are faced with other jobs such as teachers and stuff like that, that if they want to save money, they can just have virtual teachers or virtual robots that are able to teach a certain type of subject. And if somebody even has a question and stuff like that, they have ways of explaining it because it's already been triggered. Or it could also be just a sort of robotic or Skype-like session where a teacher can actually teach 4 or 5 classes at the place of one, and just have them in different locations, and the teacher can just teach people, so they wouldn't even need facilities, they wouldn't need everybody to be in the same place. And that happens a lot with online classes, right? So it is getting to a sort of automation in some way. So we need to be creative about being able to employ more people, because the thing is that yes, we have about 7 billion people on Earth, but at the same time what's happening is that there are less jobs that are going to be existing in the near future. So more people, less jobs. What's going to happen? Basically, there's more unemployment. And also the thing is that countries that are not third world countries, I don't know if they really want to have all these homeless people, because then it degrades their country too. And eventually, again, strength comes in numbers. And who knows, maybe people who are unemployed can eventually all pack together and start some sort of revolution or some protest, and then they go against the government, and then either war erupts or separation erupts, looting, fighting, all that stuff, and then people need to be happy at some point, right? That's the thing, is when people are faced with being too poor, we'll say, they're not happy. And if the population of a country is not happy, then it can't really be a nation anymore, you know? So I think that they're going to have to find a solution, and I think that the solution will come either by limiting the number of automatic robots that companies are allowed to have and having a certain guarantee of number of people that they need to employ, or secondly, we're going to need to have also a universal income. And probably it's going to have to be a combination of both these things, where a company has to employ a certain number of real humans, and secondly, they're also going to have automatic and universal incomes that will come to everyone who is a citizen of this and that country. So, or resident of this and that country, more like. But yeah, so that's where it becomes a bit complicated. So as you can see, nothing is green or red. Everything's always in the orange when it comes to the scale of these subjects. But I don't know, I'd be interested to know what you think about that. Talk to you soon, and I'll keep posting like usual. Have a great day.